Lollipop Leadership. This is a fun one. So it's by Drew Dudley, a TED Talk he did a couple years back. And it's all about leadership and how we've kind of turned this into like almost this unattainable sainthood. Like only the cream of the crop can become leaders, and we've almost kind of turned it into almost kind of a bad word almost, because it's turned into something that's almost arrogant and conceited if you call yourself a leader. So Dudley kind of defines it as those moments where you completely change somebody's life, intended or unintended. So his example is he's back in college, doing some fundraiser, walking around with this crazy silly hat and this crazy outfit, handing lollipops to people. And there's this lady in line whose parents are standing next to her, freshman, freaked out, wanting to go home. She thinks she can't do this. But he's going down the line handing out these lollipops, and he sees her. He's like, okay, this person's kind of freaked out. He hands the lollipop to the guy next to her and says, hand this to the pretty girl standing next to you. And of course the guy turns beet red and all that fun stuff. And then he turns around and kind of like hands the lollipop to her, all freaking out a little bit because it's his first day too. And that day, that moment, completely changed her life. She knew that other people were feeling the same thing and that it's going to be okay, and she had found that internal confidence to keep going. Those two actually got married, which is kind of funny too. But the more interesting thing is the dude handing out the lollipops didn't even remember that event. Because for him, it was just handing out lollipops and being silly. But for her, it totally changed her world. She would have quit that day. She would have never found her husband that day. And it's those little moments, right? The world is just a compilation of lots of humans put together that we call this place home. If we can change that one person, indirectly or directly, we can change the world. It doesn't matter if it's some big, grandiose achievement. Hey, Jamie. All these little things, right? I don't know if you've seen the movie like Pass It Forward. These little random acts of kindness is a form of being a leader. So anything from super small to the super big. So just want to leave that with you. If you want to see the full video from his TED Talk, it's linked in the description. But otherwise, have a good night, and here's your lollipop.